And then what we can do is when he casts the chains, we just LOS right here. So we tank him on green, and then we LOS right here on X. And now what happens is we don't get hit by the chain, we don't take initial damage. The Warlock just said, "How confident are you in this plus 15? And I said, "Very." Alright, here we go. The plus 15. This is the dream. We can make it happen. Interrupt the skirmisher when he casts out my weapon. Use our curing ability here. Use our trinket. Use fort brew. With all these defenses, I should be able to just stand in the traps so that our melee DPS don't accidentally die. And a leg sweep. That's not very useful because of the inspired. Oh well. We don't have a Venthyr in our group, but that's okay. I could have sworn that the mage applied to the group and said that he's Venthyr Frost in his note, but maybe not. It's okay though. You don't need a Venthyr. We can make it work. The warrior's kind of hard carrying. He queued up to this group and he's definitely just here because he's bored. I think he's like 270 eye level or something, so. But you know what that means? It means we don't have aggro on anything, ever. That's what happened in the last warrior key. Grab this tick as well. And once I'm healthy, I'm going to go into this next pull with Dampen Harm. Probably do it now. We'll go now. Dampen Harm. No curing ability and Trinket again. Keep taunting the Brute. We'll leg sweep the Engorges. Celestial Brew. Pick that tick. And then on the next set of casts, we can Ring of Peace if we need to, but it looks like they're going to die before then. Start bringing this outside. Once he lands, I can taunt him back over so that he kind of chases after us. Just making sure that we stay healthy. Now that we have the buff, we can definitely go into this next pull. You have Inspired, so we just have to be careful. We're going to take a lot of damage. I touched the Death of Brute a little bit too soon, but that's okay. Use our Ox here. We taunt the Don't really have anything here, so this is where I gotta start being careful. We'll leg sweep the one mob that we can interrupt, the Inspired mob. Go into the next pull. Focus the Brute here. Again, Inspired, so we just have to be careful. We can't really CC anything. So we take a decent amount of damage. I'm gonna Dampen Harm here. And I will also use my Trinket. What a strange Trinket, being a minute and 15-second cooldown. So odd. Let me kick that Engorge once the Inspired dies. Focus the Brute again. And Celestial Brew here. And then we'll pull the boss in with this Brute. Gonna Fort Brew. Just expel harm to make sure I heal myself before I get hit by the boss. And then taunt the Help soak this Juggernaut Rush. Spell harm right before it. We taunt the boss back to where he was. And And I'm just going to drop mine right here. Teleport back immediately. We'll soak this one that's close. The rest should get soaked pretty naturally. Press Celestial Brew here. Send a Chi Wave through the entire group, or Chi Burst. Use our Ox, use our Trinket, just for some extra stain. Help soak that. Keep purifying. Use a health pot here just to stabilize. Use Celestial Brew here. Soak my orb immediately. We'll soak this other one that's really close to the boss. That one's getting dropped a little bit too close for comfort. I wasted Touch of Death again. I'm way too in the habit of just pressing it when I see it available. We're going to save the other stuff that we have coming up, like our Curing ability and our Dampen Harm for the next pull, because the next pull is going to be pretty big. Wait till I'm full HP. I put my Transcendence down, and then we're going to run through here. I'm going to Tiger's Lust. I'm going to run all the way out here, grab this guy, and then run all the way back and teleport to my Transcendence. Now hopefully I get dispelled, because I'm going to take a lot of magic damage. I'm going to press our Curing ability here. I should have CC'd the Inspired mob. You're going to get a lot of cast off, which is my fault. Definitely not ideal, but it's okay. We still did really good on our damage. The warrior just hard carrying everything. Sometimes we do luck out. Get some really free keys. Hopefully this is one of them. Why is she evading? Please stop evading. And since we don't have a Venthyr, I usually use these imps here, are these like rockbound sprites for the urn, but or the lantern, but because we don't have a Venthyr, we're just gonna kill them normally here, just like this. And the route I'm doing is definitely not a traditional route. It's just something that I like doing for pugging. It requires like literally no skips. The only skip you do is one invis pot towards the end, and we may not even end up doing it. We may just end up killing it as well. So, just a route that I like doing. It feels easy. We tank the Grand Overseer right here on the corner, and then what we can do is when he casts the chains, we just LOS right here. So we tank him on green, and then we LOS right here on X. And now what happens is we don't get hit by the chain, we don't take initial damage, and we can just pretty much stay in melee. Like, we don't have to run far away or anything. So if other melee players are aware of that too, it is really, really beneficial, honestly. Same thing, we pull him back here, taunt him to green, and then we LOS on X when he does the chains cast. I'm going to use Fort Brew here. Pop my Trinket as well. Doesn't matter where the Wicked Oppressors are. Technically, you could try to keep them up here as well. But it's not super, like, it's not needed. And then the other thing you can do as a Brewmaster, obviously, is you can Tiger's Lust the debuff off of people. So if someone messes it up, or if they are stuck in melee and can't get out, or they don't, you know, LOS or anything like that, you can just Tiger's Lust them. You run by before the Sentinel comes in. And we pull this. And press our Curing ability. And so for this pack, we tank the Overseer over here in the corner here. Oh, I'm just gonna die. I think they were waiting for they didn't get by at the same time as me. I think they're fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna run back. That was just my fault for trying to like sneak past the pad. I should have just waited for it and been patient. But yeah, for that pack right there, you just want to tank it on either side. You don't want to tank it in the middle. That way when the chains happen, people can just run to the opposite end. So you have like, you know, this is a side on X. So you tank them over there, and then you would like the chains go out, and then you just run to green, and it makes it very, very easy to avoid the chains. And then range can also just stand over there and not get hit. This guy's going to hurt a lot, so I'm a little bit scared for this pull, but we're going to see how it goes. And a leg sweep for the dirt crunchers because the tank is taking a lot of damage right now. I have no defenses, so these are gonna... I mean, this is gonna hurt very badly. And we also don't have a soothe. Okay, we're looking okay. Here goes the next big hit. Just all we have to do is make sure we're full HP, and then we should be fine. And like here, I have a big Celestial Brew, so we are more than fine for this hit. And we touch of death. Very late, but that's okay. We use our Curing ability here to help kill this pack. We just want to interrupt the Depth Warden. I'm going to save Dampen Harm, I think. For when we get the Chamber Sentinel, whenever that ends up spawning. Okay, and then we go this way. This and this. And then we'll probably honestly just kill this stuff because I'm already losing aggro on all of it because we're kind of attacking it a little bit too soon. I'm just going to kind of regroup everything together. You can kind of leash the scribes. If you need to ever move them, you just kind of slightly move. So just like kind of backpedaling is a good idea. Or if you don't have backpedaling, then just moving at a very slow pace, like kind of like tapping your movement keys. Because you need to keep the scribe like within melee range, but also be moving. It's kind of awkward, but that's basically how you move the scribes if you know you're not LOSing them. The other option is obviously just LOSing them around a corner like this, and then they run in and they don't throw research at people. They have to have their main target first before they can throw research. So as long as you're LOSing them, they will not do pretty much anything. They'll just run at you. And see, we can kind of leash it this way. Especially if I taunt it. Like in between each throw research, we basically move a little bit like this. And now she'll just kind of run with me the entire time, even while casting spells. Lets us go into the next pull. Use my Ox here. There's our Sentinel, so we'll pop Dampen Harm. Trying to taunt stuff back. He's attacking my friend. I think he just severing sliced our Dave. Okay. Feeling pretty confident. I have a lot of stuff up, but I'm just gonna... Okay, we just dodged that, so now we go into the next bowl for sure, because we dodged the bleed, so we didn't get hit by it. I'm gonna Fort Brew here. Use my Trinket, Celestial Brew. And then we'll use our Curing ability, do some damage. I didn't have an interrupt up for that. Luckily the warrior got it. Purifying. Making sure I'm healthy for each of these crushing strikes. So using something like Expel Harm right before each crushing strike is really, really nice, because then we top ourselves up. And then from here, I think we're just going to do the boss. Lust when it's ready. And 3, 2, 1. Can actually get hit by this first thing on the ground. It doesn't actually apply a debuff until it gets further out. It has to get like out to here pretty much where I'm standing, and then it will apply a debuff to you. So try to hit this ad as much as possible. We do have Touch of Death, but I'm going to save it for one of the more difficult ads. Should also be in the habit of Ring of Piecing those ads away when they're about to die, because then we just like avoid having more stuff on the floor and having to move more. Lets us stand still instead of having to like backpedal more and more each time. When this next ad spawns, we're going to stun it, because that's another really important thing to do to help with how much control you have over them. I guess I stepped out of range. We Ring of Peace that one away, and now it just drops its pull in the previous pull. We just have to move a very little amount compared to having to move a lot more. Use our Curing ability here. Another ad spawn coming up, but we just ignore it, and we touch of death the boss, and there we go. And we just go downstairs. We're at good enough percentage because we're not going to skip, so we're just going to kill the really, really annoying pack at the end of the bridge. Gonna taunt these over and drag them all the way to the other oppressors. Hopefully we kick. I just missed my kick. Sucks. Taunt this guy. We go into this pack. It's fine that there's an inspired. We just kind of brute force through it because it's tyrannical weak. Use our Ox, use our Celestial Brew so that the healer does not have to think about healing us at all. Try to taunt things off the warrior. Should have held my leg sweep just a tiny bit longer because then I could have used it right now, but we'll just still kick something. Firing is so obnoxious. Can't wait for it to be gone, but I don't know what the affixes are next week, so I think it's Grievous, but I could be wrong. Alright, and here we go. Alright, this boss is going to hurt a lot with the Iron Spikes, so I'm going to Dampen Harm the first one and Trinket. Yeah, these are going to be rough. We have to be very careful with these. And I wasted my Celestial Brew there. We need to actually make it to where we line up every single Celestial Brew with the Iron Spikes that she does, I think. Here we get so that's really good. We'll be really healthy going into this. I think Woe would be the better play, so I should have mentioned something earlier. And now we Celestial Brew because it came back up in time, so that's good. And then we Expel Harm. Pretty much Celestial Brew and Expel Harm need to be used every single one of those. And it should come up in time if we're keg smashing on cooldown, so. And then I only need like 2 of the orbs and I should be good, I believe. Yeah, a little bit rough, but and then we can Expel Harm right as the explosion goes off. Now we have Celestial Brew back up. Cool, this is perfect. So yeah, we just follow this pattern of Expel Harm on cooldown, and then Celestial Brew for every single Iron Spikes, followed by like a big defensive if we have it. So here I use Fort Brew, and then I Purify spam, and I Expel Harm to keep healing myself. Expel Harm again as this is about to happen. And then once the detonation actually occurs and blows up, we Expel Harm again right about now. And also Health Pot to help stabilize since we're in a Spirit Link, so that Health Pot will go to our teammates basically. We use our Ox here to help reduce how much stagger we're going to get from this next spikes. And again, we have a huge Celestial Brew up, so we use it. And we can also Dampen Harm, just to be safe. Purify once or twice. Expel Harm. Purify again. Touch of Death a little bit too early, but that's okay. It's hard to Touch of Death right now because my health is not as high as it should be. So, it's difficult. But, honestly, we just fight this down here, I think, because we're going to have to pull all this stuff anyways. Drop the barrier for some damage reduction. The traps are going to be on the floor, so we just move out of the way a little bit. And we'll just use our Kyrian ability right away. Missed Breath of Fire on a couple of the mobs. It's unfortunate. Big Expel Harm. Keep purifying. And this next pull is going to be a little bit rough. We can actually pull only 2 of the mobs, but I'm going to be confident in our group, and I'm going to pull all of it. The way you pull only 2 of them is you pull the leftmost mob. I think it's the Overseer, if I'm not mistaken. Whoever's on this side, like where I'm standing right now, you pull that guy, and then the Sentinel doesn't get pulled with them. Just Tiger's Lust myself for this Dread Binding, so I don't have to worry about running away. E-Burst towards the rest of the party, so that they get some heals. And we dodge the bleed, so that's huge. Want the Mist Dancer back off the warrior. And now there's another trick with this barrier. You can actually use it. I'll show you how I use it, and this is how you can get 2 uses out of it instead of only using it for the detonations that the boss does. So we jump in, and we just immediately throw the barrier down. Like, that's literally the first button that we press almost. And then I'm going to dampen. And now what happens is the barrier is going to come back off cooldown the same exact time that the boss is doing her cast, where we need to press the barrier again. So it's super, super useful. Use my Ox here. We should be good to pull this stuff. It's a little bit scary, but I think we'll be alright. We're going to leg sweep to reduce some of the damage taken. We're going to Ox. Warrior's going to get all the aggro and die instantly. That's just how it works. And then now our barrier's back up, and the Gloom Squall is happening. Yeah, this stuff's alive way too long, and it just hurts way too much. Not much we can do about that. That was just the warrior, like, going way too ham and just getting aggro and dying. We're gonna still be in combat, so this is kind of unfortunate, but I think it's recoverable if I don't insta-die, which it looks like I am going to insta-die. Yeah. I think we need to just, like, hard reset. That was definitely just the warrior just hitting his buttons a little bit too fast, and we don't have enough to do anything. I tried to keg smash, but it just didn't do very much. The dog should stop spawning in. We might get one more set, but just letting them know that if we do get quaking at the same time that we need to stand in the barrier, you just stand in the barrier because you don't take very much damage. I'm gonna watch these cadets again. I'm gonna try to do a little bit better of a job of grabbing them. And I could have used the barrier if I would have picked it up faster, but that's okay. We can actually, now this is actually way better. We can use it for this next pull. So we're gonna kill these two cadets. And then right again, as we go into this pull, we go in and we barrier immediately. And now the barrier will come back up when we need it for the Gloom Squall. And the way that works is just when you start combat with the boss, when you're out of combat and then you get in combat with her again when she runs away, it's just a countdown of how long until she does the Gloom Squall, which is the exact same countdown that the barrier has for a cooldown. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to pull these Dark Acolytes and try to pull them around the corner here, ideally. This is not working out how I intended. Drop the barrier. Use our Ox statue. I don't have aggro on like anything over here. Gonna taunt this Acolyte and then try to LOS around this corner so that everything kind of groups up. I also don't have aggro on the boss now. But I'm just trying not to panic. That's the main thing. We're just focusing on one thing at a time. So my first focus was get the Dark Acolytes around the corner, which they still haven't done. I'm still losing aggro on all of them. And then the next focus was, okay, now we need to get aggro on the boss. Same thing, we have this shield back up, so we can go right into this next pull. And as soon as we start the pull, we just drop the barrier. Leg sweep here just to try to get some control over what's happening. Stay in the barrier. Use my Hyrian potion to remove that the bleed that we just got, I think. Gonna purify some of that big stagger. Gonna taunt her. Yeah, 7 seconds until she does the big AoE, so we're gonna try to move her this way a little bit. Actually, I'm not going to move her because the mage is very far away, so he's going to need to play catch-up. Yeah, if I would have moved, the mage would have definitely not gotten the barrier in time. Okay, we have a big Celestial Brew here. And we go this way. Don't have barrier this time, but the boss isn't here this time, so we can use the barrier just when it's up. We don't have to use it right when the pull starts, because now there's no Gloom Squall. So I can just wait here, and actually what you can do is get hit by if you get hit by that Severing Slice, I just dodged it again. But if you get hit by that as a tank, you can just drop the barrier, and it will remove the Severing Slice bleed. So it removes all bleeds, so like Necrotic Weak, it'll remove Necrotic stacks. Grievous Weak, if everybody stands in the barrier when you drop it right at the start, it'll remove Grievous stacks. It's really, really handy, honestly. Looking like a 2 chest. We might have a 15 key after this. That's very good. And same here, we can drop the barrier here and then stand in these traps purposefully, because then we have so much damage reduction that the traps should not kill us by any means, and we can just kind of clear them to be safe. There's no reason other than being safe. And then if you have the barrier up, another thing you can do is use it when you start the boss fight. So like if we start the boss fight here and I drop the barrier immediately, same exact thing. It'll be back up by the time we need it. And then to Lust. Gonna use Fort Brew just while these relics. These relics actually hurt quite a bit, honestly, even as a tank. I know I'm under geared, but still pretty painful. Gonna taunt I guess I should have Touch of Death to because I am never going to be able to use it on this boss because she never gets into execute range. So I should have Touch of Death something else in the meantime. Use our trinket, which I definitely should have not done. I'm wanting to click that off, yeah. I'm going to click that off because that would have been very bad. Use my curing ability here. Start throwing keg smashes in for damage. Spell harm. And off heal just a little bit with a Vivify on that Shaman just to help out. Spell harm, Celestial Brew. Shaman's gonna get hurt. He's gonna have 3 stacks. Oh, he dodged it. Oh, he did not dodge it. Okay. Gonna have to get to the spot and drop this barrier quick. Here we are. Drop the barrier fast so that it removes the stacks off the Shaman. Get healed up. Reverse through the group. Gonna just go ahead and dampen harm here. Help reduce how much overall damage we're taking as a group. Health pot just to stabilize so that the healer can focus on other things. Use our Ox. And we walk up, we drop barrier. Now we can use our trinket, and there we go. Very nice, +2. That is sweet. We got another Spires. I think, is that not like the 3rd Spires key that I've done? Am I wrong about that? I thought I ran Spires like, I thought I got Spires very early on, like at a very low key level. No loot, man. Double mail loot, feels bad. We're just not doing well in the loot department, are we? The Warlock just said, how confident are you in this +15? And I said, very. I'm a fan of Dorky.
I will aid you as I can.
We're going to upgrade one of our legendaries. I'm going to just go ahead and upgrade my Unity belt. I think that's the... There's no specific reason, but I guess because it's not on a tier piece. So if I end up wanting to put my other legendary on a different piece that isn't gloves, because I have a bunch of gloves in my inventory, then I can end up doing that and not feel stuck. So we're going to upgrade the waist. There we go. Belt to 291 eye level. That's going to be huge. And now we literally went up 5 item levels just from that. So I went from 229 to now 234. And we are going to tank this +15 Spires, and we're going to time it, and we're going to get a sick vault tomorrow, and I'm pumped. Alright, here we go. The +15. This is the dream. We can make it happen. PC. And do our usual pull since we've done Spires so many times anyways. Want the Goliath down. Press Fort Brew early. Press Dampen Harm early. Taking a lot of damage. Big painful. I think somebody got the weapon already. Oh no, here it is. We purge that off. Use my Ox. Going to try to Ring of Peace to interrupt that Castigator, and then I'll regular kick the Castigator. Looks like we missed the kick on the Goliath. Unfortunate, because that means I lose my healer, which means I probably die. Re-CC this guy, run back in, we can recover this. Oh, I think that was the problem. We killed Woe, which means that we got the... this is so bad. I... Okay, now we just do a small pull. You can just pull this Inspired in, because there's no casters besides the Mender. And for like the Forsworn Doctrine here, I can just Ring of Peace, and there we go. Now it interrupts it, and it did a little bit late, but that's okay. Alright, that's okay. We recover from this. We are all good. No need to panic. Ouch. Just Touch of Death, that woe. Take a lot of damage. This hurts very much. I need to plan out my CDs pretty well, honestly. Celestial Brew here. I think really it comes more down to how I utilize my Celestial Brew and Purifies than it does how I use my cooldowns, because cooldowns are pretty simple and straightforward. Like, I just, when they're up, I need to press them on the next pull we do. That's even semi-dangerous. For this, we're honestly going to CC the Mender. Pull these guys down, I think. I don't have kick available. Goliath is getting aggroed by other people. There we go, now I kick. Ox here. And the Goliath got to 50% energy, I think it looks like. Yeah, there's... Okay, now he's out of energy, so I can pull in this guy. That's fine, because he won't cast again. Purge that weapon off so that I don't insta-die. We Celestial Brew here, pick up the weapon. Try to keep the sweeping blows away from everybody, so I'm going to face them, I guess, towards the angel up here. One's up here. Like that. Up harm. Off the Castigator. And there we go. Not too bad. I have to take the dungeon slower than I might be used to, so that is the play. So you see the Mender here. Want the Goliath in. And Keg Smash, Carrying ability, Keg Smash, Fort Brew. And also Expel Harm on CD. Go ahead and Leg Sweep here to interrupt casts that are going off. Taunt Press Dampen here. Interrupt that Burden with a Paralysis. I think I barely missed it, so we'll just interrupt that Dark Lash with the Paralysis. Oh, we do not want him in here. Ah. Damn. If I would have died just a tiny bit sooner, we would have been a lot better off. And that was just the Mender. I don't know what broke the Mender. Oh. I tried to Paralysis to interrupt. That's completely my fault. Oh, every time I'm getting so nervous, I think someone's gonna leave. Did we not kill a single thing? That sucks. That is very unfortunate. Gonna repair real quick. Now we're definitely not getting the duration on our flask. This is not looking good. Should have just went and bought a new one, but I don't want to. I already ran around and had to craft my legendary and stuff, so they were like trying to rush me. Food buff again. You crowd control the mender again. Healer coming or no? Doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, he is. He's just flying over. It didn't show him on the map. Okay. We try again. Press my trinket right away. Hearing ability, Celestial Brew. And then I'll dampen harm here. There we go. Goliath doesn't have any energy, so I technically could pull in the Mender now, but we're just going to wait. Because we're going to use the Mender as a little trick to get our defensive cooldowns back up and ready for the boss. I'll explain more in a moment. Celestial Brew. Leg Sweep to interrupt those casts. And then we can Touch of Death. And then we literally just fight this. It's more ideal to pull it into the boss, but I'm not going to worry about it. And the reason for that is because if we sit here and fight this for a second, it just gives me more time to get my cooldowns back up. Right here. It's very little time, but time is valuable, so it is still there. Summon our little Kyrian guy. We have no defensives for this these first few slashes. So this is going to be very painful. I'm going to use my Celestial Brew. I'll watch where the bird is facing. I'm going to expel harm when the boss hits me. Looks like everybody is dying right now. I'm going to health pot. Use my trinket and expel harm again. This is where I'm going to start taking a lot of damage, so I need to purify. Expel harm to heal myself again. We need to kill her like immediately or I'm going to die. Okay, she flew up, so we're good now. We pretty much made it in the clear now. Because now by the time she comes back down, we should have other stuff ready. Like our dampen harm and whatnot will be coming back up. Especially now that we have her, so yeah, for sure. And I'm just going to save Celestial Brew, even though it probably would have been more beneficial to use it there, but I just want it for when the boss comes down. So I'm going to use it here, for instance. And then we'll use our Kyrian ability, throw some keg smashes. And we have that Celestial Brew rolling, and now we pop Fort Brew. Now that Celestial Brew is all expired. And run over here and expel harm. I'm going to dampen harm because I'm like half HP and another slash is about to happen. I am scared. I am very scared right now. I'm very scared right now. I have nothing. I'm literally just praying for healing. Like that's basically Brewmaster. Once you use all your CDs. Same thing, I'm going to save my Celestial Brew when the boss comes back down. And then I have Ox to use, so we'll use that when the boss comes back down, which should help a lot with the amount of stagger I have. I actually need to like step... man. I wanted to step in a pool really quick so I could purify to keep my Celestial Brew stacks, but I missed it. So, use Celestial Brew there. I'm gonna use Ox now. This hurts so bad. I definitely made some mistakes. That was really bad positioning on my part. I was trying not to turn my back too much to the boss, but I ended up just making it way worse. Purify here. Keep spamming expel harm. Okay, she's flying back up. That means we're in good shape again. Purify. And then I can stand in this pool on the ground and get a little bit of stagger so that I can purify again. That way I don't lose my Celestial Brew stacks that have been building up, because you can't purify if you don't have any stagger. And then here I Celestial Brew. I have Celestial Brew rolling for this next hit. So we take this next hit. I don't have Celestial Brew anymore, so we expel harm. Gotta just Touch of Death because I think I'm gonna die. No health pot, nothing. I need to keybind Healthstone. That's actually a good point. Definitely behind on time, but that's okay. Even if we just end up completing this, it's still a win. It'd be nice to time it, because then we have a plus 15. I'm going to tell them to LOS up here. And then once they're all in position, I will pull the mobs over. We should be good to pull all of them. Always hit the one in the middle there to get all 3 of them. If you hit the one on the edge, it will not pull the guy in the back for some reason. He doesn't social with the front one. Walking in, we're using Celestial Brew. Now once they're all in, I can ring a piece the ones that are kind of farther out. Use my Trinket, use my Curing ability, dampen harm if we need to. I should have leg swept there when I saw the warrior get all the aggro. Maybe I stop playing with warriors until I get more gear, because it's just actually awful to try to keep mobs off of them. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Losing the warrior makes this take a lot longer. He's a majority of our AoE damage. He's literally dead, and he still was doing the most AoE damage. And now we can do that LOS trick that I was talking about, so I can stand back here. I can taunt like this guy right here. If I ever get to taunt him, there we go. And then I can LOS right here. It was very messy. Could have done that a lot better, but what are you gonna do when the warrior just aggroes everything? It's difficult. Once we get more gear, that definitely will not be as much of a problem. Keybind our Hellstone. And I think we take this slow. I don't know if I pull everything. Oh my gosh, no way I get stunned. Hellstone. It hasn't happened once yet in any of the spires we've done. I've done it consistently every time, and now I mess it up, of course. Okay, Celestial Brew. Now we should be safe to pull the other tigers. And then now we should be safe to pull the Praetor. Where you're getting aggro and stuff. Classic. We Fort Brew here. Taunt that Stealth Claw. Bring a piece like this. I probably should have waited until the Praetor jumped away. Ooh, I interrupted the Swift Slice. Nice. We got it with the... Oh, what? He recast it. Usually he doesn't recast it. It's so messed up. Taunt that tiger that is not on me. Celestial Brew here again. Save the Curing ability for the next pull. And we kite so that we don't have this bleed on us anymore. Throw a heal on myself. Interrupted it, I couldn't tell. There we go. I think we're still making okay time. It's definitely not ideal, but it's okay. Like here, we usually want to be at like 10 minutes into the dungeon right about here, or 11 minutes. But rule number 1 of doing keys is don't talk about the timer, so I'm not obeying that rule. So we're going to try to do that. Taunt building that good habit. Always being mindful of taunting Gonna just dampen here, because this shit hurts really bad. Gonna interrupt that Venom cast. And for this next pull, we have the resetting a lot of our cooldowns. So we have Celestial Brew. We'll have... That's about it, honestly. Oh, we'll have our Ox as well, so that's good. Pull them their spots. And now we go in. Pop Celestial Brew. And then I'm going to be interrupting X next, so I'm going to target it. Make sure we interrupt the correct one. And they hurt. I'm going to try to interrupt it at last second because their melees hurt a lot. There we go, they're recharging now. Taunt the Praetor, we can ring a piece him back towards them so we can kind of cleave a little more. Warrior should be getting X. There we go. And then I'll get X next. I'm gonna pop my... I'm gonna Hellstone there for sure. Spell harm. Touch of Death the Praetor. And there we go. We did another very difficult pull. Also a difficult pull coming up. We will dampen as we walk into the pull. And hopefully the healer dispels us very quickly here. Like we are not getting dispelled, so I'm going to run away and Zen Med, and then I can kind of just sit here and Zen Med and tank this stuff. Celestial Brew is back up, so I press that now. And I group everything back together. Everything back together. I mean, Purify, because I have another dot on me. It's going to definitely kill me. Oh, that was just a lot of quaking. Yeah, that was just double quaking. We all stood a little too close to each other. They should be able to kill it without us, and then just mass res. I am not going to release, because the res will be probably a little bit faster. I'm not going to take this either. I'm going to just take a regular res. We don't need to use a B-res. We need to save those for bosses. Warlock's going to take Spear, because he's Kyrian. I'm going to wait to get healed. There we go. Use Oxyr and Fort Brew. Purge that weapon off immediately, because that thing will one-shot me if he auto-attacks me with that. Got a Venom on us. Healthstone. Use our Kyrian ability. Not super ideal to be using this much on just this small pull when we have the big pull up next, but what we gotta do, I guess. I'm gonna just pull this without the ether divers that are inspired. And we'll see what we end up doing with the spear. I don't know if we're gonna use it here or save it. My health pots. I'm gonna kick that. My Celestial Brew. Probably gonna wait until the mob comes in and then spear. What it looks like. I'm gonna tell him to spear now, otherwise I'm gonna die. There we go, perfect. That was very good. Ring of Peace and kick that Rebellious Fist. And Celestial Brew again. I tried to get a leg sweep off while he was out of range again, but it didn't happen. Touch of Death there. And then now I'm just gonna kite and let them finish off the mobs. Hellstone here. Oh, I don't actually have a Hellstone. It's a fake Hellstone. No. The fake Hellstone ruined it. I would have just healed myself if I would have known I didn't actually have a Hellstone. That's so annoying. That's okay. They finish off the pack and res me. Definitely not an ideal 15, but we are pushing through it. We're not going to time it, that's for sure, but that's okay. Just completing is a really big accomplishment for this item level as a tank. Like this shit is no joke. I honestly just need a few upgrades and this would just be so much better. But Ring of Peace in the way of the Praetor, so when he jumps, he gets interrupted. Oh, nice. The Warrior Kyrian stuff works as well. Very good. Losing aggro on everything, as per usual. Ask for more Healthstones. There we go. Also, doing this where you jump across and fly up like this, it is not faster for you, but it is faster for your entire group because the angel like shares, you know, stuff. So CC some stuff. Gonna taunt the squad leader over. And then we'll just kill squad leader. Again, we're probably not timing this. Like, I guess it's still possible, but on Tyrannical, I feel like the bosses are just, like, we still have 3 bosses. And the 3 bosses alone almost take 15 minutes, so. I mean, we don't have much to do besides the bosses, but we do still have the 3 angels afterwards. Taunt this Inquisitor in. It's in such a bad spot right now. I try to kick it so that it walks to me. Why is it being so awkward? Fort brew here because this hurts very bad. Is it evading up there? Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna try to outrange it and see if it follows me. Follow me if I'm over here? No? Stunned? There we go, it came down. She's my carrying ability here. This next boss should be pretty easy, at least for me, like, because tanking-wise it doesn't do very much damage. It just melee attacks and then puts bleeds on people, so the bleeds are the main concern, so this is going to be more of like, does the group survive kind of thing. I'm going to wait to pick up this weapon on the ground. And then when I pick it up, I'm going to make sure I don't hit the Praetor at all with my melee attacks. Oh, did I barely miss it? I did. I literally missed it by like a fraction of a second. It disappeared. But that way you could save the auto attack damage for the bosses because it gets consumed with each auto attack. You get 5 stacks. So you can like kind of save it for the boss in that regard. Use my Hawks here. Oh, and remember we're going to do the new strategy. Oh man, I'm messing this up really badly for the new strategy. Bring it over here to where the range are. This is not ideal and I'm really sorry. I'm ruining this for everybody. Okay, if anyone leaves after this, I blame myself for sure. I'm gonna make the little triangle pattern, which ideally we end up with the triangle, like the tip of the triangle up here is where the range are already, so that they don't have to move around the room. They're just already in a good spot.
From the shadows, I witness your demise.
Same thing, I'm going to try to move it a little bit. And now I'm going to bring her over here. The ranger definitely not in a very ideal spot, but I can't do much about that. I just messed up the first set, so now it's kind of awkward for them unless they move. The warlock's moving into a good spot though. Now we move the boss up here to the top of the triangle.
Your sight is your downfall.
Yeah. Warlock got hurt.
From the shadows, I witness your demise.
She would have soul stoned himself. I don't know if we have an NGB res, and if anyone else dies, we're in a lot of trouble.
My celerity is your sight is your downfall.
I'm gonna bring the boss all the way over here. Actually, yeah, we'll just bring the boss over here. Watch out, please. And now we'll go to the top of the triangle.
My alacrity. Your sight is your downfall. From the shadows, I witness your demise.
I know we're being lazy. Before we do more keys, I am getting
My
50
celerity
engineering.
your sight is your downfall.
Because we need B-reses. It'd actually just be so beneficial to not have to rely on the B-res class to be the only B-res.
I have
Still not bad. We're definitely not doing terrible on time. It's not timeable, but
is
this next boss takes like when the next boss dies, we want to be like 10 minutes remaining. Probably a little bit less for a lower key, like 8 minutes remaining or something like that, but got a lot to do. We do get one more lust, so I mean, it is like, I don't know. Hey, you guys are supposed to remember rule 1. Don't talk about the timer. Why are we talking about the timer? I will go ahead and grab this spear. Okay, Warlock's got it, so we can just pull the Hellion right away. I think that's fine if we get Urks, then we get some cooldowns back up. We can just go like right into boss instead of doing the other pull before. Maybe we still do the other pull before, I don't know. It's just some more cooldown reduction, so it's fine. Do we try to do the crazy pull on the 15 though? I don't want to risk people leaving, but I also really like that pull. It's really fun. I think we just play it safe and don't do that. Oh, someone aggroed. Warlock. Please die. I am not in combat, so I can res if they all die. Just repeating myself over and over not to release. Why is the Hellion there? He said, hey, I see you over there. We're gonna get quaked. Oh, I'll still get this res off at least. And I can get this last res off too. Got in fake combat again. There we go. Got it. We almost died instantly taking it. That was really bad. No way. Stop. I think we got quaked and someone like moved into the warden and pulled it. Oh, well now we definitely don't time it, but that's okay. Now it's okay to talk about the timer because we know that we're not timing it. Once there's facts involved, that's when it's okay to talk about the timer. But rule number 1 specifically is don't talk about the timer if you don't know if you're going to time it or not. Like if you're questioning if you're going to time it or not, that's when you don't talk about it because there's no point. It's just a waste of energy. You gotta be joking. This is not happening right now. This is actually Res Simulator. Someone's gonna die again here too, I guarantee it. Okay, we're all good. I thought the warrior was gonna take the res and then run through with me and die to some hurls. That'd have been good. Gonna leg sweep here, so we don't lose our healer instantly. Okay, Here we go.
Your defiance must be punished.
Get hit by the stomp, buddy. Alright, I warned them. Everybody always, that's the worst part about pugs, is they stand in the boss's hitbox with you. So they always get hit by the stomp. So like the stomp strategy is something you can't really do in pugs, I feel like. Even though it's like, just fundamentally so much better. Like even right there, yeah, the rogue got hit again. People don't stand on the outside of hitboxes, they stand in the inside of the hitboxes. I'm just gonna, I used way too much stuff there. I only needed Fort or Dampen, I didn't need both. That was really bad of me. Really need to kill her here. Okay, I don't know who wants to soak, but... And then no one soaks! Why?
Overwhelming. You have failed the Kyrian, as they have failed us all.
Alright, go again. We can do this.
Your defiance.
Now we just go the other way, we just start from here. Oh, that's not the burn phase. That's okay. Yeah, whoa.
Be annihilated.
Whoa. Stone. I should have interrupted well, that was really bad. This is very messy.
You must be annihilated.
Oh my gosh. We're just gonna wipe to that. Can I soak these? I can. I'm gonna die though. Holy moly, I can't believe I soaked those. I don't know if I live this. I have a Celestial Brew coming up, so I think we do live. That was actually crazy. Woe definitely saved us there. No joke. I'm gonna stand up here to reset the cycle of where we're walking. And now we don't have the boss stomp at all, I believe.
All who oppose us will be destroyed. None may stand against the Paragon. You must be annihilated. You are unworthy of our cause.
Now, I'm pretty sure we did this correctly, so now she'll do one more Purifying Blast, and then she'll do the big ability. Launch her over here in the corner. Yeah, and then now she'll go into the phase immediately. Oh, we just dropped them in the very wrong spot again. Oh no, not like this. And under her again. Like the rogue's doing the same thing. We're just all taking damage. We're all soaking the orbs. Heal me, please. Heal me, please.
unworthy of our cause.
I'm gonna wipe again. Oh, B-res. Everyone's dying because everyone. Okay.
None may stand
Just walked on me with the
against
quaking.
the Paragon.
Unlucky.
You have failed the Kyrian, as they have failed us all.
2 days of playing. I couldn't get a 15 done. I felt pretty disappointed. I was ready to call it quits.